Hi, I'm Lex. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here, I guess. I'm currently suffering because I'm sat on my floor and I don't have a cushion under me. But whatever, that's a problem for later. I'm gonna film this video, then I'm gonna fix that problem, then I'm gonna film the rest of my videos. Anyways, this is my project pan... What is this? This is my eyeshadow project pan. It's basically a mix of pan those eyeshadows, expand those pans, and then I have a wild card. So I have two shades that I'm trying to hit pan on. I will use them until I hit pan, or I can roll them out after 30 uses because I don't feel like forcing myself to use an eyeshadow more than 30 times. Then I have my expand those pans, which I will use 30 times and see how much progress I've made, see what the difference is in the size of the pan after 30 uses, just so that I'm not neglecting eyeshadows that I've already had, you know, half pan. And then a wildcard shade, which can be any shade picked from my entire collection, and it has a randomized number of uses from 1 to 30. So let's get into my eyeshadows and what progress I've made. Let's start with my expand those pans. Sorry, this is going to blind you like crazy, but this is my W7 24 karat gold rush palette. It's got fingerprints all over it, but this is such a nice palette. I only recently realized, because I know W7 does a lot of, like, especially their palettes tend to be dupes for other things, for other like bigger, more famous palettes. I only recently realized that this color story is supposed to be a dupe of the Natasha Denona gold palette. Mainly because when I look at these palettes, the layout and everything, it reminds me a lot of like the ABH palettes when they do color stories that copy or dupe those palettes. I see it immediately. But when they're duping something that's in a different layout and has more eyeshadows, I didn't catch on to it. But with the golds and the sort of accents of blue, this is definitely like trying to be the Natasha Denona gold palette. So yeah, I kind of like this better though. I went into a store and I swatched some Natasha Denona shades and I kind of realized that I don't think like the formula is nice, but I don't think I would care to pay that much money just for a slightly nicer formula. And specifically the gold palette, I think because it is all gold pretty much, there's a lot of shades that look super similar and I don't think I need all of that, and this palette is like a fraction of the price and it's very nice and it doesn't crease on me and it looks good, and I'm happy with this, I can't lie. Not that I've ever like owned a Natasha Denona palette enough to really get a feel for it, but just from what I like know and what I've like seen and felt myself, I think I'm happy with just this. This is a really lovely dupe. This has got everything I need. I tend to apply these glitters with my fingers so they really pop, and this doesn't crease at all, and it's super versatile. It's got like warm tones, cool tones. It's great. The two shades that I'm working on in this palette are probably visible immediately. This is the shade Golden Boy, and this has made quite a bit of progress in the past couple of uses because I shifted quite a bit of it around. These are very like smushy shades. These ones are kind of drying out a little bit just because I use them a lot. But they're very like sort of smushy shades, and I think I called this Golden Boy. This is Good As. Obviously this rolled in for 30 uses because I'm trying to expand the pan on it, and I've used this one 16 times so far. So over halfway, which means that I'm making good progress on it. This is the more warm tone colour, and I was focusing on this for quite a while. That's why at the start it had a lot more use than the other gold shade that I'm working on. This is Golden Boy. Golden Boy has 23 out of 30 uses now because I've shifted my focus to it and just been banging out these uses. So that one has also expanded quite a bit recently. These are very nice shades. They are just kind of basic golds, but they are so versatile and they make everything look good. They make everything look really nice. Again, 16 out of 30 uses, over halfway, so I'll be using Good As a few more times and then rolling it out. And Golden Boy is so close. I think definitely next month I will be able to get it out, especially because I use it for work a lot. I tend to put a more colourful eyeshadow in my crease and then put the gold shimmer all over my lid just to neutralise it a bit. Yeah, gold shimmer neutralises things, totally. It's work acceptable for my current job at least. I'm working towards maybe changing jobs soon, and that will definitely be more of a professional work environment, so I won't be able to get away with some of the stuff that I wear and do my makeup to work now, but that's okay. I'm enjoying it while I can, and I always have days off so that I can do fun looks. Yeah. My Pan Those Eyeshadows, my first one, comes from this Ursula palette, and this was shade number 7. I rolled it in for a hit pan goal, all 30 uses, and ta-da! I don't know if you can see it because it's a silver colour and the pan is silver, but I've hit pan. Hopefully I'll put up a picture so you can see it better. But I've hit pan. It took me 12 out of 30 uses to hit pan. I think it would have taken less if I'd used it all over the lid every time, but I sort of switched it up. I used it as a topper shade, I used it as a lid shade, you know, like a main lid shade. I used it in my inner corner, which that obviously uses a little bit less product, but that burrows a bit more of a hole. But overall, I liked it. I think the quality in this palette is definitely not there, but it is a cheap Primark palette and it's over 10 years old. So I will definitely just try and get like as much use as I can on this. It's smelling a little bit like crayons. We all know what that means. But I will keep using these until I feel that they are either like really gone off and like really smell like crayons, or until I just can't deal with the formula anymore. There is a little bit of fallout with these, but as long as there's enough of a colour payoff that I can work with them, I'm not too bothered, and they don't irritate my eyes or anything, so it's all good. I also used this as a highlight, so I didn't just use it on the lid, I used it on my cheeks a couple of times, because my highlight that I'm using in my 50 Shades Project Pan, my very icy white highlight, it looks very nice and very shimmery, but this had like bigger glitters, so if I really wanted to pop, I added a little bit of this over the top of it, and I really liked that look. I think it looked very good. Very shiny. Not for everyone, but definitely a good look, personally. I liked it. So because I hit pan on that, that will be rolling out, and in its place, I have my Modern Renaissance. Speaking of ABH palettes, yeah, this got rolled in, and I will be using Venetian Red down here. I'll use it 30 times or until I hit pan. I'm not too happy about Venetian Red being the colour to get picked from this palette because I'm currently working on 2 very similar colours. One isn't in a project, it's just like a personal goal, and one is in my Pan Those Eyeshadows in Order, the shade Maraschino Cherry. It looks very similar to this as well, especially just, they don't look the same in the pan, but on the lid all 3 of those colours look very similar. So I will be using it 30 times, it just might take me a little while longer. However, the ABH shadows are very powdery. I worked on Tempera a couple months back, as you can see I hit pan on it there, and that didn't take me very long at all. Granted, I used that all over as like a lid setting shade, but it was just very powdery. They're all very kick-uppy, and I won't waste any product. I will try and use as much of the kick-up as possible. But as soon as I start using this consistently, I think it'll be done in a pretty short space of time. I had another rollout last month, which meant a new roll-in, and that comes from my Adventure Time palette. I love this palette so much. I love Adventure Time. I was saying to my boyfriend I'll have to rewatch it again because I did rewatch it kind of recently, about 2.5 years ago, back when I was still in uni, because he mentioned that he had been rewatching it with his mates, and I was like, oh, I really want to watch it. So I've started rewatching it by myself, but anyways, this is the palette. Ignore the giant fingerprint in the black. This is like the only cream to powder shade in this palette, so I had to test it out when I first got it, but all of the other shades are pretty much untouched. And I rolled in this shade, Princess Bubblegum, and as you can see I haven't used it yet. I have to use it 30 times or hit pan. I haven't used it at all yet because I'm working on a hot pink as well because it crumbled out of my palette, so I want to use it up because I can't put it back in the palette. So I want to use that hot pink up because it's bothering me that it isn't in a palette and it's crumbled and been repressed into just a makeup container lid. So I want to use that up and then I'll get more consistent use on this. I think this is a little bit of a softer pink. It's not like hot pink, but either way, they're shades that I would use in a very similar way, and they don't necessarily go together well because this is a slightly warmer tone, the other one's more cooler toned. So I won't be using them together, so that might just have to go on the back burner for a little bit. I don't know what it is with a lot of similar shades getting rolled into projects or whatever lately, but we'll make it work. And then we have my wild card, which I randomized my uses. I rolled this in for 17 uses, and it is the pressed glitter in my Profusion Delightful Dahlia palette. It is the shade Dahlia. This is such a pretty color. I have it on my lids today. It is very, very shimmery because it is a pressed glitter. I had to buy some eyeshadow like bases. I got a whole set of like colourful ones from Revolution, so I used the blue base under this because otherwise it can just come off as like slightly weird coloured and patchy. But if I have a good base for it, a good blue base for it, then it looks stunning. It's so shimmery. I wanted to try it with a teal base as well because I used this before over the top of a brown eyeshadow and that made it look really, really kind of greeny teal. So I wanted to use it over a specifically teal base to see if I could make it just all look like a nice uniform teal colour, like a greeny, like seafoam green. But anyways, this rolled in for 17 uses. I have used it 3 times, which means that I do have a bit of a pan on it, but again, it's a very smushy shade, so it does just move around a lot. And I bought this palette in TK Maxx for £1. £1, there it is. Yep. Because that middle shade was just kind of smushed around a little bit. So I disinfected it and put it back in the palette. And I've been using it ever since, and it's fine. It's literally fine. I did, however, look at some of the other like Profusion mini flower palettes, and I bought almost every single one. I think there's like one that I'm missing. I don't know how many there are in total, but just out of the ones that I could find, there is, I think, one that I'm still missing. But I bought the Romantic Rose, the Tulip, the Poppy, and something else. Something else that's also very pinky. Yeah. That is my eyeshadow project pan. This is a longer update than usual for this project, but I'm happy to have had some rollouts recently because I felt like this project was moving rather slowly. But now I'm seeing some progress, I'm seeing some movement. Hopefully I'll have another rollout next month, so fingers crossed. I'm excited. I'm enjoying using a lot of these colours, and some of them are really good for every day, some of them are really good for nice flashy looks, so I have variety, I'm enjoying it, it's all good. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in my next video. I'll see you next time. Bye!